Thanks for joining us this morning on Sunrise. I'm Intisar Faulkner. Be aware of some major delays for your commute. A deadly crash involving hazardous materials has blocked both directions of I-77 in Fairfield County. 27 weapons and 37 bomb threats. That's how many disruptions Richland School District 2 says they've counted since starting the school year in August. You've been at the scene there all morning so far, and you were able to talk with a few parents who rushed to the scene as soon as they got, again, a text, a call that no parent wants to receive. And they were pretty choken up by that response. Again, thankfully, no one was hurt in this incident. It could have been much worse, but talk about the reaction that you're seeing from parents as they're arriving there. Now, gas prices are continuing to soar, and it does not look like that's going to stop anytime soon. And this is causing many Americans to make some changes. We're going to go live now to Andrew Fancher, who is in Orangeburg this morning. Andrew, I know earlier you were saying there were a few people that were out on the roads, but we're advising people, Jamal, to stay home today if you can. And according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, nearly 90% of parents are using car seats incorrectly and putting children's lives at risk. Take us back to your time at the Paralympic Games. How are you feeling, and did you feel more ready that second go round? Well, history is happening on the Gamecock men's basketball team. The university named Lamont Paris as the team's next head coach. Well, after the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and the shakeup with First Republic, people across the country are watching to see what happens next and what impacts this will have on the local economy. Joining me now is South Carolina State Treasurer, Mr. Curtis Loftus. Thanks so much for joining me, Mr. Loftus. The second program of the newly launched More Than Rhythm, a Black music series, is happening tonight at the Columbia Museum of Art. And I am so excited to have artist Mimi Jones as well as Angelo De La Valle here to celebrate with us and give us a special performance. Thank you. But can you imagine pulling up to the family function and you have this scarf on? And
you're
don't
like,
tell anyone. Well, I guess so. But someone's going to catch you in the kitchen, Eric. Someone is going to catch you stuffing some wings.
What are you doing?
Well, we all know the tune, You Won't Break My Soul. Oh, I love that song. All hail Queen Bee. Superstar Beyonce's 7th studio album titled Renaissance is finally here. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but many of the images depicting the injustices of the civil rights movement leave us speechless. Well, now we're hearing from the man who was behind the lens. Legendary photographer and activist Cecil J. Williams is looking back at his historic work that captured some of the greatest moments of both violence and progress in American history. And he's walking us through his journey, one picture at a time.
Photographs and pictures mimic life like nothing else. So that's why they're so powerful. That's what we are as photographers. We're storytellers.
Orangeburg native Cecil J. Williams picked up his first camera at just 9 years old.
On Sundays, I would go down to Edisdale Gardens, which was a scenic place here. And I found out by taking pictures of families and charging them $1 that I was beginning to earn money.
A self-taught artist, Williams says growing up, he took every opportunity he could to snap his camera and build a network of mentors.
There was John Goodwin out of Columbia, who right after high school, I started working with him, telling my parents that I didn't want to go to college.
But he did go to Claflin University, where he studied art. And at 18, he became the youngest staff photographer at the time for Jet magazine.
I would send my pictures to the publications, and Jet one, but also weekly newspapers like the Afro-American and the Pittsburgh Courier. If they came to Orangeburg, I probably photographed them.
Williams' first cover feature for Jet was of Coretta Scott King at the Charleston Hospital Workers' Strike in 1969.
The hospitals around Charleston paid African-American workers only 1/2 of what the white workers were being paid. So for 105 days, the people in Charleston, mostly women in fact, marched and demonstrated, and then finally were able to win. So the state of South Carolina made those hospitals pay equal wages to African Americans as well.
From the protests at the State House that led to the Edwards versus South Carolina case, to Dr. Martin Luther King's visits to the area, Mr. Williams and his camera were there. At times, capturing some of the worst parts of our past, like the Orangeburg Massacre.
I narrowly missed being on site when the shootings began. And so about 9:30 that evening, they opened fire and again caused so much pain and misery to the students who were merely trying to integrate a bowling alley.
His brushes with history saw him on the campaign trail, where he met a senator from Massachusetts.
They saw the security folks taking me out, and they stopped that from happening. He talked with me a minute or two before going up to the microphone, reached into his pocket, got one of his personal business cards, and we became friends.
So much so, JFK asked Williams to be his photographer when he visited many parts of the South. As he continued to work as an artist and photographer throughout most of his life, Williams also took on a new title. In 2015, he invented the film toaster, a device that enabled him to scan his film 50 times faster than any other method, and it's been used across the globe. Through his lens, Williams has showcased some hard truths and some life-changing moments that have shaped our country, but he says America still has work to do.
It was easy to recognize racism during the period that I grew up in. Today, yes, we are living in a more covert society where racism can hide behind very clever places, but it is still here today. I'm hoping that in my lifetime, that one day we will live in a society where we would be recognized by the content of our character rather than the color of our skin.
And with all his cameras have captured, he says he never thought his work would have the impact that it does today.
It wasn't something that entered my mind. I think I probably would have taken more pictures had I realized to what impact those pictures would make today. What you produce can be so powerful. Learn your craft well and again become expert at it.
Intisar Faulkner, WIS News 10.
Intisar says you can check out Cecil's amazing work in his collection of historic artifacts at his museum in Orangeburg. The information is right there on your TV screen. You can also visit his website, cecilwilliams.com.